All right, here we go. Salute to Knicks Nation on this Tuesday evening. KFTV postgame live for the kickoff of the regular season, and not the result that we were looking for, man. 132 to 109. A Boston three-party washes out the Knicks on banner night. Knicks get absolutely blown out here tonight. 132 to 109, man. TP the franchise. The KFTV family's in the building, man. The lady, Maria, the Globetrotter, the Knicks chick in here. JD Sports Talk in here. Alex Rotaros in here. 132 to 109, man. Knicks get the doors blown off them by a Boston Celtics team that took 61 threes. It got so bad tonight that they were trying to break the record at the Knicks' expense. They were trying to put some further embarrassment on this team. And this Boston Celtics team made 29 threes, broke the first half record, was trying to break the game record. And that was it. Was that my fault, Al?
Yeah, it was your fault.
Did I speak it into existence?
You did speak it into existence.
I did before we went off air on the pregame show say, if the Knicks aren't careful, they're going to get washed by 30.
Yeah, you did say that, and that did happen. So everybody in the chat right now just say boo CP. No.
I try to jump out with you. I try to jump out the window. And then the realism kicks in, and I'm like, this could be ugly on banner night.
At least you said we get 55 wins, or 54 wins.
I'm still sticking by it, you know? The bad news is we don't go 82-0, but my 55 is still out there. We still do.
Good Lord, man. I mean, the way they were shooting threes, it was one thing to have Tatum go off tonight. It's one thing to have, like, your superstar just knock down every single shot that they take. It's everybody else, man. It's the wide-open threes for Derek White, Drew Holiday, Al Horford, Peyton Pritchard. The list goes on. Like, come on, man. Where's that perimeter defense? This is just one of the many, like, critiques I have of this game so far. I know that it's 1 out of 82. We got 81 more games to go, but the three-point shooting, man, I mean, a Tom Thibodeau-led team has always been questionable when it comes to guarding threes, but tonight was just on another level. I don't know if it was just, there's some teams that get just hot, that really just get into a rhythm, and that this is just an anomaly. Like, they shot, 58, 60% from downtown tonight? Something along those lines?
They cooled off, and they ended up shooting 47.5 from three.
At one point in the first half, it was 60. So, hopefully this is just like one of those games where it's an anomaly. It's like everyone's just hitting on all cylinders, but not a good showing defensively for a team that has made their mark in the league the last couple of seasons being a defensive stopper. So I didn't like that part of this game whatsoever.
Listen, and 47% because they took like 1,000 threes in the fourth quarter trying to go for the record.
Oh, my God, it was embarrassing.
I don't even know if that number is actually legit. Listen, it's only one game, but I'm slightly disappointed. I am disappointed. And the reason I'm a little disappointed, it's only one game, but because of the way the game played out, it's like not that the Celtics needed any more confidence that they already have as the defending champs, but they do come out of tonight, I feel like, oh, that's the Knicks? Oh, this is what the talk was about? This was the acquisitions about? This is what we had to be worried about? I think as champs, you always have confidence to play against anyone. But I think after tonight, I think the Celtics have even more confidence future matchups against the Knicks, which I think makes even our journey to, beat them makes it much more difficult.
They got a test tonight against the champs.
Yeah, my best friend is a Celtics fan. My boss is a Celtics fan, and I talk the talk. So I'm not looking forward to tomorrow because you already know I speak a big game. So I agree with you, JD. I think that their confidence boost went through the roof. Not that they needed it, but we shot better than them from the field. So to shoot 5% better than them from the field and still lose can only mathematically happen when you're not doing anything from behind the arc and the other team is killing from behind the arc, and that was an embarrassment. And to JD's point, I bet if you look at their three-point percentage and just take out those last 4 minutes, it's well above 60%. That was an embarrassment. I didn't think our defense would be a reason for a blowout this evening. That's not what I expected.
Yeah. Maria, you got to go back to your boss, who's a Celtics fan. I got to go back to a city where I just,
that's right.
And like I play pickup basketball with a lot of Celtics fans. So now looking forward to tomorrow.
And listen, if Maria, the most optimistic Knicks fan that I know,
very optimistic.
If Maria's coming out on postgame and her first take is this was an embarrassment, and this is a real season of expectations for the team.
All right, but wait, if we want to reroute immediately into optimism, we can start the conversation with Deuce McBride.
Deuce.
So we want to go there.
The Deuce was loose tonight,
JD,
man.
that's your guy.
That was JD's guy. The Deuce was loose tonight.
He did it.
And, with the bench being the story, we wanted to see who was going to step up, especially with the absence of DiVincenzo, who we were expecting to fill that bench void. McBride, 8 of 10. He started off 7 of 7 from the field. 22 points, 2 dimes. The thing that I liked about McBride that you feel like is impressive and will certainly carry over is a lot of those weren't wide open.
No, they weren't.
McBride was creating shots under duress. There was a lot going on there. He was knocking on the road.
Yes.
And he was knocking them down. There's the positive you can take for the rest of the season, man. Deuce McBride is here, bro.
Deuce McBride, my God. I mean, when you're watching Deuce tonight, how can you not be excited for what this guy's bringing off the bench? But, CP, to add on to your point, it's not, all the shots were highly contested. It's like, as you said, how he was doing, the side steps, the step backs. The other thing that I was really impressed with is that he's tacking the rim. Like, he's looking to try to finish around the rim at this point. This is something that he struggled with last season. So now that you're telling me that he's adding all 3 levels to his game, where you're seeing mid-range, three-pointer, attacking. It's just stuff that you love about Deuce McBride. And I know JD's smiling at these numbers right now. 8 of 10. 8 of 10 from the field, 4 of 5 from downtown, 2 of 3 from the free throw line. Look at this guy, man. Look at the growth of this player, CP.
Yeah. Shout out to Bleacher Report for the graphics and the highlights and all of that. But, yeah, that was the lone bright spot. I mean, look, Brunson and Towns, you saw Brunson do his thing. Towns 5 of 9, 12 points for Towns, Brunson 22. But when this Boston team is firing like that, man, there's not much you can do. One of the things that was my keys to the game was controlling the possessions. Because the thing is with Boston, number one, when they get those offensive rebounds or they get those broken plays and it ends up in threes, they're demoralized. And that's what we saw so often in the first half, man. It's offensive rebound, miss, offensive rebound, 3. Offensive rebound, bounce off your foot, here's another 3. It just kept hitting, and it just compounded the issue, man.
And as you mentioned, I saw a stat that for the preseason, the Celtics, 55% of their shots in this preseason were from three-point land, which is a 10% increase for where they were last year. And you saw tonight, in other words, they have transferred that philosophy from last year, and they're saying this year we're going to another level in terms of hoisting up the threes. And when you're facing a team like that, you have to rebound.
Yes.
Because when they get the offensive rebounds, a lot of times you always see a player or two be out of position on offensive rebounds, which means someone on the perimeter is open. And while other teams sometimes get an offensive rebound, they try to go up for a 2, the Celtics are going all 3s this season, and that's to put more pressure on the defense. And for McBride, real quick, because I have to say a take about him.
Of course you do.
Yes.
No, you know what I love about this kid, man?
Yeah.
The Knicks, what pisses me off about just tonight is they weren't ready to play tonight. And you got a player that had an illness in the preseason, missed a game or 2 in the preseason, comes out tonight on the road, he's ready to play.
Nothing.
Off the bench.
He's ready, bro.
The only guy that showed life in the first half.
Bro, and remember we talked about the identity of the team.
Yeah,
The Knicks, to me, a lot tonight look like a team that is searching for what their identity is going to be this season.
It's going to be a little while. It's going to take a little while.
Is it going to be more finesse? Is it going to be more toughness? McBride, to me, is one of those last players from last year that still brings you that toughness. What their identity is going to be, whatever that is going to be, one of the more fascinating storylines as we continue on to the season.
For sure, man. Dead out.
Getting back to the rebounding, though, I mean, this is a team that has been proud of itself over the last couple of seasons as controlling the offensive glass. Only 5 offensive rebounds tonight. And the absence of Mitchell Robinson, even Isaiah Hartenstein, those are 2 guys that really know how to get you those second chance opportunities. Tonight, if anything, that was more glaring than most is that the second chance points were just not there tonight. And so if you're going to control the board, yes, it's one thing to stop the Celtics and get the defensive rebound. but it's another thing for a Knicks team that has always been able to just grind it out, right? A team that's always able to just get another opportunity. And if that team is not going to do that, if you're going to have guys missing shots like Bridges tonight, or even like guys like OG who are not going to attack, or even Josh Hart, like you gotta subsidize something else. It's either getting back to just being that gritty defensive team and making sure you're getting those defensive rebounds, or you just got to work double as hard to get those second chance opportunities.
Take us some time to figure that out. I mean, these first few couple of weeks are going to be tough. We're not the team that we were at the end of last season or even in the beginning of the summer, right? So with that missing piece at the center, with the injuries that we have, it's going to be a bumpy road. But, you know, I'm optimistic that we'll figure it out. We got to figure out how to play without a solid five for a while, and then, you know, hopefully when Precious gets back and eventually Mitch gets back, that all gets figured out.
Yeah. And I have a question for you.
Go.
Because I see the chat.
Yeah.
It's pretty 50-50 on tonight's result. Should
How
we
you 50-50 on tonight's result?
should we overreact?
Oh, God.
Nah.
Or should we just be like, you know what?
Nah.
Should we sweep this under the rug?
Listen, how do you overreact? So then, if you're overreacting to this, what was your prediction before this game? Because as JD said, as the most optimistic fan that I know, going into this game, there's no way you thought this was going to be an easy win. There's no way you thought that depleted at center, we were going to walk up in Boston on ring night, and this was going to be an easy game for us. We just made a trade. Prior to that, we had just made another trade a few weeks prior to that. We're still getting acclimated, right? The fact that a couple of these guys played together in college doesn't mean that they figured out their game in the NBA together. Trying to figure out how Karl-Anthony Towns fits into this all is not going to be a snap of the fingers. Yeah. On top of the fact that, as you stated before, the Celtics are definitely on a mission to elevate their game in a way that no one has been paying attention to. The entire league is thinking about, how do we beat Boston? Everybody's game plan, whether or not they want to admit it, is what can we do to ensure we beat Boston? In the meantime, Boston has been saying, what can we do to elevate our game to make sure that while they're trying to catch up to us, we're at a whole different level. And that's been becoming way more efficient from beyond the arc, where they embarrassed us tonight.
Listen, man, I think they, like I said, with Missoula and the mental mind games, they heard all the naysayers saying it was an easy route last year. They played nobody, even though they had the third best net rating in NBA history in the regular season. They wiped through the playoffs and the finals, and I thought they'd try to make a statement tonight. And no one better than Jason Tatum. I mean, let's just give credit where credit is due from a basketball standpoint. 37 points for Jason Tatum. He was absolutely unstoppable. 10 assists, 14 of 18 from the field, 8 of 11 from downtown, and a lot of those were contested, man. Jason Tatum was locked in, dialed in, and when he's on point and Boston's on point like that, Knicks shot 50% from the field.
And that's kind of why, like, for Tatum, that's why I said, like, I'm looking at it, like, he's going to do those. That's what he is, who he is, right? That's why he's always considered top 5, top 10 of players in the league. You expect those type of guys to perform like that especially on a ring night, especially when, you know, that they didn't even get to play. Like, we're seeing him not getting minutes, substantial minutes on the Olympics. So you know he has a chip on his shoulder. You know Jaylen Brown's got a chip on his shoulder. But that's where it still goes. But it's still unacceptable that everybody else is knocking down threes. That's the one thing, because we have to make rotations. Like, teams are going to look at this as a blueprint to say, all right, so can we beat the Knicks knocking down threes? Can we do the same thing that Boston just did tonight? Because that seems to be their weakness. They don't have, you know, the one thing that we could say, like, at least from, there's just so many things that break down from, like, shooting threes the way that it did. It's like, why were they so comfortable doing that? Why were they so comfortable being able to get into the lane? You don't have a legitimate rim protector. Why are they willing to say, you know what, let's test Mikal Bridges, let's test OG Anunoby, because there's not a legitimate 5 that's going to deter us. That's where Mitchell Robinson, Isaiah Hartenstein are. And so they were able to get comfortable. I wonder if the rest of the league is looking at that, because they're going to test the Knicks. They're going to watch this and say, let's test them and see how well are they going to defend the 3. And so that's something they got to work on moving forward.
Big time, man. Go ahead.
Listen, they got to figure it out. Whatever it is, because you can't come out of tonight thinking, oh, JD, we need this and we need that. No, we don't have that many, you know, assets left.
You don't have any routes to do anything.
Say, oh, we need to get this now. We need to get that now.
It's got to come from within.
This is 90% of the team. Any other additions are going to be, you know, Matt Ryan's or whatever Shams was reporting earlier today. That's what you're getting. You need to get healthy. But I'm going to challenge Mikal Bridges. I talked about in the pregame that
let's talk about it.
He did not have a great year last year as a defender, you know, with the Brooklyn Nets. And I was looking forward to the matchup tonight. And defense, you know, the offense I can excuse. Offensive chemistry, you can excuse. Anything offensively, because it takes more than one player. But when you're a defender, you wake up, you get off the bed, and you can play defense.
That's
like
effort.
that doesn't go away. And sometimes you don't even need a scheme to be a good defender if you already are a good individual defender. Scheme just helps you elevate. I was very disappointed on his one-on-one defense tonight. Some of these shots that Tatum got were too easy.
He ate him up.
Too easy. And I know the counter could be, well, Tatum's a great player. Yes, but Mikal is supposed to be a great defender too. And that's all I'm saying is I expected a little more effort from him and a little bit more of a challenge defensively, and it was just too easy. It was too soft, and it's not going to be good enough long term. It's one game, but I'm talking about individually. I was disappointed in his one-on-one defense.
As defensively, offensively is where the moans and groans came from the watch party. 0 for 5 for Mikal Bridges in the first half. Second half, he got it back. It looked like the hitch was going from the shot.
Yeah, it was a completely different shot. What happened here, man?
Right.
What's going on here?
Went 7 of 8 from the field in the second half.
He went to the locker room and fixed that. I went to the bathroom. I hear Slate erupt. I'm like, I bet Mikal Bridges hit a shot. Sure enough.
The first 3 hit. So, I mean, it's just, I still don't understand. I would love to have a former player or shot doctor here to understand why he decided to do this at this point in the season, to switch the shot up, because he's vital for this team. We talked about it. Mikal Bridges, to me, is going to be the most important player for this Knicks' success going forward. He has to be a 20-point scorer a night and not just be a guy that's going to be supporting cast. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to play off of Brunson. He's got to be that guy. Second half, he showed a little bit more than the first half. First half was abomination.
He definitely got more comfortable in the second half, but to add on, it's the price that you paid for Bridges that is really going to amplify the moans and groans even moving forward after this one game, because it's nice to see that he got comfortable in the second half, but you can't just play that moving forward like, oh, I'll just give me a little bit in the game and then I get comfortable. You got to start the game off the rip being a dog. Like, you got to come out defensively, as JD's talking about, CP, as you're talking about just being an offensive guy. Like, he is in the top 3 of the pecking order of having to be that type of creator. It's nice to see that he tried to do that. It's nice to see that he was cutting to the basket. And that's honestly another issue I have with this team, if I'm going to just pivot for a second. It was only really Brunson trying to break down the defense. You know, this is something I talked about this preseason when we traded for Cat, and I know I got a lot of pushback. I got a lot of pushback for it, and I know
why are you looking at me?
You know why I'm looking at you. So anyway, you know, this is where you need another creator, another guy who's going to force the double and triple teams, who can just, you know, something like Randall, that what he was doing last season. And I'm not saying that he was the most perfect guy, but the thing is that guy created a lot more open looks.
Don't you start having seller's remorse.
I'm not having seller's remorse. I'm just saying what it is. I'm just saying that it didn't have to be Randall, but if you're going to get somebody, if you're going to need another guy to create those open looks from perimeter. Because as we saw tonight, relying it on Brunson, our three-point shots weren't there because they weren't open. And that's the one thing you can say having somebody like Randall did. Now, it's the counter saying, all right, Cat, instead of being out in the perimeter, we start you on the paint, so that way we get the double and the triple teams moving forward, because that's something that needs to happen.
I think that's one thing you can be encouraged about in this game, especially with Karl Anthony Towns. No, the point total was not ideal for this game, but he only took 2 threes, and he took 9 shots.
Yes.
And the 5 that he made was mostly outside of the 1 3 he made. He made 4 in the paint.
Right.
They started off with Drew Holiday on him. Remember, we were wondering that. Drew Holiday got that assignment, and we were like, yo, we were moaning and groaning like, yo, you got to go to work. So he did have some opportunities to go to work against Holiday and against Al Horford. So I was encouraged with his offense. We just need a little more.
Yeah, I think for what they need to do is to go to him as much as they go to Brunson, doing that more like outside in, inside out, so that way they can just offset the defense, because I think this team is what they're going to have to do the same thing that Boston does, which is put up a lot of threes if they're going to compete. But if you're not going to have that guy who's going to be lodged in the paint, creating that double and triple team is going to make it difficult for guys like OG, who are great from the corner when they have a wide open look. Bridges, who can be probably better if he has a wide open look. So that's something that Tom Thibodeau has to tweak the offense. Like I said, it's not seller's remorse, Maria. Don't worry about going that direction. I'm just saying maybe we got to do a little bit more traditional stuff. Work the post a little bit. Maybe we got to go back to the 90s.
Got to get to it.
And go get to the post.
But we did have more points in the paint, and we did shoot better from the field. We didn't win. So I don't know that the post points in the paint are really what we need.
Yeah, we won 42 to 30 points in the paint. It was from 3, man. They made 29.
How many did we shoot, though, from 3?
We made 11. That's damn near 90 to 33. We damn near got outscored by 60 points from 3, bro.
They broke a record in the first half. I think it was 17 threes in the first
half. We damn near got outscored by
like
30 from 3, bro. Unreal.
That was the difference in the game.
That was it.
And that's why, to me, listen, they're going to be a challenge regardless. And I know even the diehard Boston fans are going to say, look what we did to y'all. We didn't even have Kristaps Porzingis. Imagine if we would have had him. That's why we got Bridges for. We got Bridges to have. You show me a tweet. Where was the wing stop? That's why they're here. They're here to slow those guys down. That's what they're here for. It did not happen tonight, and that's why we didn't win.
CP the Fan, Charge 80 Sports Talk, Alex Charles, the next check, Maria Carroll in the building. Salute to everybody in the chat once again. Hit the like button, hit the share button wherever you guys are watching. Shout out to our guys at Bleacher Report on the production for pregame, watch party, and postgame. We are here at Slate in New York City, man. Unfortunately, the Knicks did not get the win, but Slate was rocking. Slate was packed. We had a great time. Shout out to DJ Eric L. Beats on the 1s and 2s. My franchise channel members watching on YouTube, go ahead and leave us a custom emoji. Let us know that you're in here. For my guys on the Bleacher Report side, salute to you guys. Salute to Rock 820. He says spot on, Alex. Salute to a lot of guys on the Bleacher Report are saying it's just one game. Everybody got to relax. Everybody got to relax. It's just one game. Everybody was happy to see Tyler, the Creator, get in on the Bleacher Report side. So, you know, he did get to see that. But,
CP,
yeah.
I already got a tweet. Someone DM'd me like, yo, JD, Friday's a must-win.
Oh, man.
Wow.
Well, this is the expectations. We're in the era of expectations now.
This is who we are.
A night like this, it's game 1 of 82 of a million games where fan base is, you know, overreacting one way or the next. And now Friday becomes a must-win game.
But you can understand kind of where that pressure's coming from. I mean, if you hear everyone saying, this is going to be a top 5 offense, you know, not just us up here or just like you listen to ESPN or any other outlet, top 5 offense is going to be one of the best teams in the East. You're expected to come out to see a little bit more than this, not get waxed by 30 points. Like, I think it would have been one thing if it was a closer game. You're like, a couple points here or there. All right, we're not too far away. Maybe we get them the next time.
Yeah.
30 points is a lot.
Yeah, Alex is right. I think because the networks have finally been talking about us as much as they have, marveling about our starting 5, and then they come out and do this. The expectations were high. They did not deliver, but now they make adjustments. The Celtics came out through the first punch. You know, we got hit by the toughest team in the league. So now they come out and they adjust. But
yeah. Call us up, man. 657-383-1509. We want to hear from the fans tonight. What do you guys think about tonight? Are you out the window? Are you overreacting? What do you think? Or call us up on the KFTV Discord. Let's go to the Discord and hear from Rambo from Tampa. Rambo, go ahead and unmute your mic. Rambo, going once. All right, I don't know if we got Rambo. Rambo going once. All right, do we have LD on the Discord? LD, go ahead and unmute your mic. LD, go ahead. All right, I see your levels going, LD. Hang on. LD, are you there? LD, going once. All right, LD, do me a favor. Go ahead and drop out of the Discord and then jump back in, and we'll get you going. All right, that's LD on the Discord. We'll get it going. So to everybody in the chat once again. Hit that thumbs up button for you boys. And Josh Hart says the NBA needs to drug test the Celtics. I never see nothing like that. So there's Josh Hart.
If we can laugh about it, there
Yeah.
better be a plan, Josh. Like, if he can laugh about it.
I'll say this. Because we could say that it's good that the Knicks got punched in the mouth like this, because now it's a wake-up call to say, all right, even though you got all the praise, there's a lot more to go. Thankfully, you got to play 3 more games against this team. All right. I've been talking to fans, like Knicks fans and Celtics fans. I said the real matchup between these two teams won't be until February 23rd. That's the 3rd time they'll play. I expect both teams to be fully healthy at that point. I expect there to be cohesion for the Knicks at that point. I think that's when we'll get the true battle that we're looking for. Tonight, I get that it's 5 new starters on the court together. But, like, if anything, being embarrassed like this makes you go back to the workshop, think about how you can retool and get ready for the next one.
That's just it, man. You can't get too high, too low about it.
What did
It's
you guys
one game.
think about the minutes being so much lower for Josh Hart and Jalen today? 'Cause I was
so
It's
confused.
interesting.
So
It
confused.
was very interesting, man.
Adapted. Remember I told you about Tibbs maybe adapted.
Maybe.
Yo, I'm looking at the
Maybe.
clock. Like, when
Yeah,
are they
second
coming back
quarter.
in?
Because when did Brunson get back
so
in the
wait,
second
so
quarter?
we
Like
got
6
6
minutes.
minutes.
6 minutes to
Hold
go.
on, hold on. Y'all criticize him, and then Maria's like, hold on, where's Jalen? Bring him back. I need 40 minutes
We
a
need
game.
minutes. We need more minutes.
Whoa. We're now finally starting to do load management on this team? Not tonight.
Not
I ain't gonna
tonight.
front. That was
But
crazy,
man,
though.
but man,
I was like, yo, where's Jalen Brunson?
We saw what shape this Knicks bench is really in when Pacome Dadier, someone who we thought was going to be, remember, we thought he was going to be drafting stash.
Right.
He got in early in this joint.
Early.
He
Over
got in at the same time as Sims. We saw Sims
Yeah.
and Dottie at the floor at the same
Yeah.
time.
Huck Porty Hive, how are you feeling tonight, though?
How you feeling off 40 high?
If there was one concern that, game 1 overreactions, I told you it was going to be insane after our halftime. I knew it was going to be insane tonight. But there is one concern that I do have.
Is it at the center position?
That's Jericho Sims. Bro, he needs to be better. I mean, I think tonight you saw, maybe it's the matchup against the Celtics, but you see where the league is going in terms of, perimeter game, being able to offer something offensively at that 5 spot. And it's like if he doesn't dominate at what he's good at, athleticism, trying to contest shots, trying to rebound, and if he's not involved offensively for alley-oops or easy buckets, if he's not dominating in those aspects, what does he bring? And you see tonight versus the elite teams, Precious Achiuwa was missed tonight, but long-term, how does that position shape out? Will Precious Achiuwa get those minutes and the Knicks just go definitely, more small ball?
Yeah.
Or will the Knicks have to get something else, whether it's the rookie or another solution? But Jericho Sims, man, he's getting an opportunity early. It's one game, but it's a lot of what I've seen, and it's not good.
I think they go small with Precious till the block Ness Monster gets back. You hope he gets
I
back
told
on
people,
the early
Mitch
side.
is going to prove to be more valuable than what people think.
Absolutely. To this team, absolutely. Absolutely, bro.
Look, CP, we talked about it on when we were previewing all the positions, right? The big men and like the wings and the guards. And I said this is the biggest opportunity for Sims that he's going to get. Like, no Mitch, even with Cat here. Like, when we did it, it was prior to the Cat trade, but this is like your chance. Like, you've been third on the depth chart for so long, and now you're getting legitimate minutes. And to me, like, every time I watch him make like a block or get like a oop or anything, I'm like, that felt like more like luck than actual like execution. And I can't be having that at the center position, especially in a Tom Thibodeau scheme where we're doing drop coverage. Like, that's the whole point. You got to be a rim protector, and if he's going to be the rim protector and he's not doing that, it's going to be a long road until Precious gets back, which is what, 4 to 6 weeks. Mitch probably coming back around January, February. This is a long time, man. Sims has got to step it up, as JD said.
He's got to step it up, man. So we'll see what the future holds for the simulation. And we shout out to Bleacher Report, man. Just show some highlights of Karl Anthony Towns and his night tonight. 12-7 for Towns. Let's go to Rambo from Tampa. Rambo, how you feeling, man? Go ahead and unmute your mic on the Discord. All right, we don't have any audio from Rambo. Check. Rambo, go ahead one more time. All right, we don't have audio from Rambo, so we're going to drop him off here. Rambo, try to exit out the Discord and jump back in. And production, just let me know, because we don't have any audio from Rambo. So to everybody in the chat once again, hit the like button, hit the share button, subscribe to the channel. 132 to 109. Knicks lose on banner night to the world champions, and we're damn near outscored by 60 points from 3. Unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. It just felt like any 3 that Boston was taking was going in. 8 of 11 for Tatum, 3 of 5 for Horford, 4 of 6 for Holiday, 6 of 10 for Derek White, who seemed like he had a quiet game, but 24 points. 5 of 9 for Jaylen Brown, all 5 starters in double figures.
Nasty work.
Nasty work, bro.
Nasty work.
Nasty.
To your point before, though, they weren't all open. We were contesting some of those. So, again,
They hit a lot
our
of
defense
contests.
was not on par, but they have elevated. They have clearly made it a point to work on their beyond the arc efficiency in the offseason. So how do we stop that?
Yeah. And considering we shot 50% from the field, how do you stop it, man? How do you stop it? All right, here's Mikal Bridges. Oh, Ian Begley on Mikal Bridges' jumper. No. Here's Ian Begley, Knicks insider, Ian Begley on Mikal Bridges' jumper from Josh Hart. Josh Hart calls discussion of Mikal Bridges' perimeter shot stupid and stupidity, saying Bridges puts the work in and he's going to be good. Hart side Bridges' perimeter shooting at 38% from his career. Talk around this stupid, we're not going to entertain it. So, all right, that's fine.
I mean, he's standing up for his boy.
He's standing up for his guy.
I mean, it's kind of obvious that the shot wasn't looking great during preseason.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we had, once again, shout out to James Edwards, part of The Athletic, who asked Bridges about his jumper, and Bridges says that he keeps tweaking it every single year to get back to what he was shooting in college, like that same form. Like, you shot 38% last year. Like, what are we tweaking? What do we got to do? What are you trying to find Nirvana at this point?
That's what I'm saying, bro.
Like, what are we doing here?
That's why I would love to talk to a player. Like, after shooting so well from 3 for your entire career, what is the purpose of tweaking the jumper?
Well, I'm not mad at anybody for ever trying to get better. Like 38% is good, but if he's trying to get to 42%, I can commend him for that. But whatever you did, undo it because it's not working. So I'm not mad at him trying to get better, and I'm not mad at Josh Hart for backing up his boy. But we don't have to entertain the conversation. Just do something about it and get back to where you were.
Second half, it looked good.
Right.
Second half was different.
7 of 8 in the second half.
But it didn't have to clear hitch, right? We're not all shot doctors, but you could see in the first half it looked clunky. Second half it looked more smooth.
One looked like a catapult. The other one looked like a jumper.
Yeah, right.
And Reggie Miller, who is a shooter,
Right.
mentioned that on the broadcast. We had the audio here at Slate, and he mentioned in the second half that he didn't see that same mechanical hitch on the second half as he did in the first half. How legitimate is that? We don't know, but I did mention in the pregame that, there's 2 things to this in terms of, you mentioning that he still shot 38%. This is what happens when you play in New York City, right?
Welcome to expectations.
This is breaking news somehow, but evidently he's been doing this every single year, where he's been tweaking and working on his, his form, his mechanics. But you come to New York and it's like we've never heard of it before. Like, that's how it's covered here, because of the pressure, because of the market, because of the media, and because of the expectations. And I wonder, is this a non-story, or is this a player, as you mentioned, knowing that he got traded to the Knicks, understanding the expectations, the spotlight is on him, is he trying to say mentally, okay, I'm going to the Knicks, I need to have a career year.
He wants to get better.
I want to get better. And sometimes I say players overthink it, where they have a sound plan, and other times it kind of backfires on them.
Yeah, I mean, I look at it just like this. It's like, if your mechanics were solid, like shooting 38%, I just think like you can build off of that. Like, I don't know how much more tweaking there is to go, Maybe get David Zenon on it so that we can get.
We got to get our guy Dave on, man, and try to understand this. I'm trying to understand, you know?
The good news is if he was able to make an adjustment between the first half and the second half, then surely he can make an adjustment between the first game of the season and the remainder of the season, right?
Absolutely.
So again, we are blowing this out of proportion. I think that Mikal and the rest of the team will make adjustments, obviously, after today.
Let's go. All right, we're going to try the Discord again. Greg from D.C., can you hear us? Greg from D.C. I don't have any audio from Greg.
Maria's shutting everything down. She's like, no. Stay optimistic, people. Stay locked in. Stay focused.
Hang on.
There's a goal out here.
If we don't have hope, we don't have anything else. So, come on. How else are we making 60 burgers at some point this season?
Yeah, for some reason, we're not getting the... Oh, I see why. I see why, ladies and gentlemen. Ooh. Live on this broadcast, we're going to do something called plug the cord into your freaking computer. All right, so...
Can't hear it if it's not plugged in.
You can't hear it if you're not plugged in. So there we go.
Just like the Knicks defense tonight.
Greg from D.C., can you hear us now? Should be able to. Hello. No, we still can't hear him.
Maybe now he needs to get out and get back in?
Yeah, maybe now he needs to get out and get back in. All the coordinates are good. We're all good here. I don't know. We'll see. We're trying to get it going, man. Live and remote, live and direct. Greg, go ahead and drop out. Rambo, are you there? Rambo on this. Now we still can't get anybody. We are plugged in. We still can't get him. I don't know. Trying to figure it out, man. So to everybody in the chat, once again, hit that thumbs up button for you boys. CP, Alex, JD, the Knicks chick, Maria in the building live at Slate. Knicks lose a tough one here, man. 132 to 109. Tough one as we go through the team stats. Knicks shot 55% from the field. Celtics shot 50% from the field. But here it is. Knicks went 11 of 30 from three. Celtics 29 of 61. An almost 60-point differential from three was the Celtics from the rest of the pack. You had Knicks shooting 75% from the free throw line. That has carried over. A bad trend has carried over there. They did lose the rebounding battle 40 to 34. Did lose the assist battle, obviously 33 to 20, as the Celtics were pouring on the threes. Points in the paint, they did win 42 to 30. And that was that, man. Al, what do you think about the stats tonight?
Like I said, the big thing to me, man, is going to come down to the rebounding and the assists. Like, I know the Tom Thibodeau-led team has never been really a big assist team, but we need to see you guys just create for one another, do it more improvement on that. Like I said, creating opportunities on the perimeter just to knock down open threes. We got to be able to punish teams the same way the Celtics punished us tonight. That's how I think our Knicks offense is going to be thrusted into that top five, and then rebounding is going to be key without Mitchell Robinson and without Precious and everybody else right now. So those are the two biggest things for me. Other than that, they scored the ball well. As we've been talking about, like, you can't really ask for much more for putting the ball in the hoop. They did a good job at that.
Well, when Josh Hart gets some more minutes back, then we'll get some more rebounds on the stat sheet also.
Absolutely, man. JD, what you think about the stats, man?
About the stats, individually,
anything that came at, obviously
the $200 million guy was 0 of 4 from 3 and 1 of 7 from the field.
Okay, that's OG.
OG Anunoby. I actually didn't think he played bad defensively because Mikal was the one that got cooked. But he also didn't play well. At the end of the day, as a team, we didn't play well. I'm looking at OG, not good enough. 1 for 7, 0 for 4. Need more from him, especially when you talked about shot creation. He has some of that in spurts individually, but he wasn't able to get to his spots. Yeah. And again, the matchup against the Celtics is going to come down to OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges versus Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. That's the end of it. We can break down everything else. It's going to come down to how effective can those two guys play against those two wings.
Yeah. But I think as we look at the highlights here, and OG Anunoby going 4 points, 1 of 7 from the field. As we look at the highlights here, you saw a lot of contested shots, man, and just all the way across the board. Like, you know, the Boston defense, I thought, even though the Knicks shot 50% from the field, I thought the Celtics defense, in terms of contesting a lot of shots, they were stout. It was tough. You had to work for it, man. You had to earn your dinner tonight. And a lot of OG's ones were tough, man. Tough to come by.
And then when you're down 20 plus for a good portion of the game, a lot of those shots also end up being desperation shots. So they're not your best, right? You're not setting yourself. You're just chucking threes, trying desperately to close that gap that they've created. So I don't think they were taking the best shots either as the game went on.
Absolutely. The other thing I want to talk about is the fast break points, because only 4 fast break points. This is a team with Josh Hart on it. I know Bridges likes to get out into the open floor as well. We got to be able to punish opponents by getting easy points. That's another way that the Knicks are going to get back into rhythm as they're trying to figure out this chemistry. Look for easy buckets. Josh Hart, you know, we saw this preseason just finding guys like Bridges open, wide, like just rushing down the court. That's another way they can really impact this game as well. I thought they did a solid job of that last year. That's something they need to bring back for this year as well.
And I hope that Tibbs looks at the way that Mazzulla utilizes Drew Holiday and he tries to do that with OG. For example, if we play the Sixers, don't be afraid to use OG on Embiid
Early.
because you saw it again tonight. He used Holiday on Karl-Anthony Towns. By the way, Karl-Anthony Towns was actually effective against Drew Holiday in the paint.
Yes.
But look, one thing that Drew Holiday does very well is whoever he's guarding, he takes you outside of the paint. So when Karl-Anthony Towns got the ball, it was by the free throw line, and it took him 4 to 7 seconds.
He had to work
to get to his spot.
He had to work.
And what that does is, even if you score the bucket, Joe Mazzulla is going to take that because it disrupts your offensive flow, and you're not shooting the three-point shot.
And he take a lot of time off the clock.
And sometimes, even when you're scoring against a defensive game plan, it doesn't mean it's a bad defensive game plan, depending on what is actually happening. So even though Towns was scoring in the paint a few times, that was actually a win for Boston because nobody else got going, and no three-point shots were being made in those sequences. So that's why Drew Holiday is a very important player in this whole dynamic, and I'm hoping that we use OG in a similar fashion because OG is actually stronger and bigger than Drew Holiday.
The Drew Holiday factor, man. We talked about it in pregame, how he was handling Julius last year on opening night, and tonight, right out the gate, he gets Karl-Anthony Towns, the center, and tried to pose some opposition there. But, you know, that's just give credit to Mazzulla and their scheme, and, you know, it was their night tonight.
Shout out to my fantasy team because Drew Holiday's on it, so thank you for that.
Salute to everybody in the chat once again. Hit the like button, hit the share button, subscribe to the channel, man. KFTV Postgame Live, CP the Franchise, the Knicks, Chick, Maria, Carol, JD Sports Talk, Alex Sotaros in the building. We're going to try the Discord one more time. We've got to get to the people. Way Too Melo. If you're on the Discord, go ahead and unmute your mic. Way Too Melo.
Yo, can you hear me, CP?
Loud and clear. Now we finally got it. Hey.
It wasn't you, CP. I had to beat them. That was user error. You know what I mean?
Yes, yes. How are you feeling, bro?
I just want to say everybody's panicking. We played the best team in the league. I brought back the entire starting 5 and bench. That just had the best shooting performance that they've ever had in their entire life. So I think we need to chill. We're gonna take it out on the rest of the league, and we'll get our get back at some point during the season. I mean, come on, this was the first. We just traded for Cat a week ago.
Yeah.
And everybody. I know we the Knicks, and this is what we do. But we need to chill, guys.
Yeah.
Come on now, like, you know, this is the best team in the league. We scored 109 points. They hit 33s and took 62 of them.
Yeah, I mean, listen, man. It's preseason expectations. It's the hype. It's the anticipation. It's the Game 7 loss from last year. You want to vent. You know, everybody wants to be 82-0 in the first night, not realizing that it's a long, long season. Strap up and get ready, man. It's so many peaks and valleys, twists and turns. It's going to change, man. Like, one night is not going to define this season whatsoever. Still there?
It's the first game of the season. I don't think there's no reason to panic. We'll get Mitch back.
Now we went
Gotta
way
move
too
Josh
low.
Hart to the
Now we
bench.
can't hear it all.
No. You can't hear me, CP? Hello?
You're coming in low. Bleacher, the audio, Discord audio went way too low on us.
It's all good. Listen, CP, just do me a solid and preach to people for patience, please.
Hang on,
right?
Melo, hang on. Bleacher, do we have Melo's audio? Do we have the caller audio?
Hello, testing 1, 2, 3. Hello?
Yeah, we can hear him, but it's very faint. It went down tremendously. So I'm not sure if the output is loud enough or what. Melo, you there?
Testing 1, 2, 3. Can you hear me?
Okay,
hello?
They're saying Melo's audio's loud and clear. So, all right, so we got Melo. Melo, appreciate the call, man.
All right, have a good one, CP.
We got you, Melo. Appreciate the call. We'll tap in on Friday. So that was Melo, but the Melo's audio went south.
I mean, it flew on my eardrum first step. So
yeah, for outside, Jamie, for outside, for the stream, his audio came in good, but okay, got it, yeah. But for us, we couldn't hear him too well. But shout out way too Melo. Let's go to Rambo on the Discord. Rambo, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Am I live?
Yes, sir, loud and clear. How you doing, bro?
I'm doing fantastic right now, man. A beautiful game, man. Listen, scratch everything what y'all talking about, man. I ain't trying to hear that. This is the same story as last year. Do not forget it, man. They got to shoot astronomically from the three-pointer just to beat us. I love that. 48%, and they was chucking the threes at the end. You bring that down to, 37%? That's like, a three-point game for us right there, man. I'm good right now. I'm beautiful, man. This is like a game of three-car Monty on the street right now, man. This is a hustle game right here. That's all this is. This is a hustle game right here. We finna hustle this, man. We finna hustle.
Rambo, we got hustled by 60 points from 3, man.
So what?
What?
Hold on, Rambo. How are you lowering their percentage after? How'd you say they went from 47% to 37% if we take out the threes at the end? Their percent goes up, not down.
No. What I'm saying here, let me clarify.
Go.
What I'm saying is if you bring them down to earth, because in a 7-game series, you're not going to shoot 50% in 4 games in a row.
Okay.
But if you bring them back down to earth, say about 37% by like somewhere where we shot today. That's like a 3-point game right now.
So you think it's not sustainable by them?
It's not sustainable. This is the same. This is nothing new. This is the same thing I've been preaching last year. You can pull up the clips because this is what happened right around Christmas time, right around that OG trade, and I kept saying it. I'm not scared of those teams. I'm not scared of this team. I'm not scared of nobody right now. We got some things we need to work on. Mikal needs to realize he is playing for the other New York team, which we require hustle in the first half and the last half. Okay, we don't like to play catch up. We don't like that. So he needs to get that mindset on there. And you know what? I'm gonna double down on my preseason tape. I don't believe Hart should be starting, man. I don't like it.
What do you well, obviously you like what Deuce did tonight. So you saying you want Deuce in there?
I'm not saying I want Deuce in there. You see, you guys say that Deuce is taking over Dante's role. Dante was a starter. I expect Mikal to take over that role. Deuce is doing the role that we wanted quickly to do. You understand? So for me, Deuce is doing what he's supposed to be doing. I want another big man in there to bang in the paint. Another big man to bang in the paint with Cat. Because I see Cat out there. He's getting his rebound. He's doing what he's doing.
So basically, you want Mitch back. You want Mitch. You want the Block Nest Monster back.
You know what I want? And listen, go ahead, y'all get your tomatoes ready. This is who I want starting. I want Jericho Sims starting because
oh my God!
If I'm gonna have, and listen,
you did not ask for Jericho Sims. You did not ask for Jericho Sims right now. Come on, Rambo.
Come on.
Man. Yo, we fixed. We fixed the audio for that. Might as well just
Rambo,
leave
you want Sims starting for right now?
Leave it troubleshooting. Like, fix the audio.
Rambo, you might
Sims.
get your first catch-up of all time, bro.
Jericho Sims starting in a championship.
We're trying to justify him even having a role on the team, and you're talking about starting.
Wow. Trying to make it in the NBA. He's trying to figure out if he can be.
But until Precious gets back, that's who I got. Because until Precious gets back, that's the only person I have and able to do that. Bring up Post Porty into the rotation. Jericho Sims in there, because at this point in time, he's doing the same thing that Hardy's doing out there in the starting rotation. Nothing. But at least we can get some rebounds out of him. And at this point, I don't have no answers for it. I don't like Hart starting, man. I need Hart coming off the bench with Deuce, man.
I don't know that
That's
he's a better
what I need.
rebounder than Hart.
Jericho's not a better rebounder than Hart, no.
This is what I'll say about Josh Hart. There is nobody a better rebounder the same height as him.
Right.
But once he gets somebody with the same drive and the same hustle as him that is bigger than him, he gets overmatched in that specific area. He gives so much more to the team, but he's not able to do that in that starting rotation because he diverts too much. That's why you see him with these nice, easy 12 points, and we're like, oh, we like that. But he's not. He can't give that in that starting rotation. He gave us a few first points at the start of the game, and I was like, oh yeah, there you go, get more aggressive. But then he goes to defer to get who? Mikal open. Oh, let's go ahead, get Mikal. Mikal goes 0 for 5 for it. It's like, come on, man. Stop deferring and go get your bucket. If that's what that's what we need. If you want to defer so much, get out the starting rotation.
This is what I'm going to say here is that there's a few reasons why I can't see Jericho Sims even being part of the starting rotation. One, I will go with Tom Thibodeau and who he trusts. He trusts Josh Hart with his credit card, his wife insurance, anything more than what Jericho Sims has right now. So
Sims.
Rambo,
Josh Hart, come on, man.
Josh Hart's going to stay in that rotation until Precious comes back. If you want to see Precious come back, Josh Hart. I'd rather have Josh Hart in there though, because look, at least I know hustle-wise, understanding the schematic-wise, that's who he is.
Wow.
I will get Jericho Sims out there as a deer in the headlight, though. Come on, Rambo.
The only reason why I say Sims is because I'm fully aware of the situation we're in. Precious is hurt. If Precious wasn't hurt, I would say start Precious. But that's the only reason why I'm saying Sims at this point.
But to your point, I still think we stick with Josh Hart, man. If you want to even see that, you should want Josh Hart, and then when Precious returns, you can have that. I feel like we can have that conversation. Maybe Precious goes in there and put Josh Hart back on the bench because he could be that type of energizer bunny there and so forth. But ain't no way do I want to see Jericho Sims in that starting five.
Also,
you know what?
No way. You can't mess around with the starting five that much either, and you can't mess around with Karl Anthony Towns as much either.
Yeah.
Like, you can't make a move like that, which basically says you're going to move Karl Anthony Towns to the 4 just because Precious is hurt or because depth or whatever. And then when everyone's back, you're going to be, okay, Karl Anthony Towns, go back to the 5 now. Like, you can't mess around that much. Either you're going to make Karl Anthony Towns the power forward and that's it, or you're going to leave him at the 5 and maybe put Precious at the 4 or maybe start Deuce. But the philosophy has to be consistent.
So JD, what do you do when Mitch comes back then? That's gonna be the question that's gonna come up.
The good news was that with that is you have enough time to figure out how this current starting 5 is gonna look like in terms of Towns at the 5 or at the 4. There's enough time from when Mitch gets back where the franchise has a decision to make where you feel Towns is best at the 5 or at the 4. Mitch is not back till January. There's going to be enough time for that.
What you say? You're saying that we can't mess around with the lineup, but then
I'm saying is if you're going to mess around with this lineup, to me, is Deuce. It's not Sims to put Towns at the 4 and make things even like you're decreasing the space or you're not doing anything to the space. Because if you're making the argument that Josh Hart needs to be out of the starting 5 because of space issues, how is that going to improve with Jericho Sims at the 5? It's not going to get it better. You're just adding somebody that's bigger.
But I'm not saying move Hart out because of spacing issues. I'm saying move Hart out so that we can have somebody who can bang in the paint, get us better rebounds. Because even though Jericho Sims, is sometimes a body out there, today I seen he gave me some offensive rebounds. And on top of that, I seen him guard Jaylen Brown once or twice that I was looking double take, like, why can't I get that more consistently? Yeah, sometimes he doesn't give us it consistently, but I see him out there doing little things that I'm like, well, damn, for that, I could see him out there. I mean, but I get what you're saying. I do get what you're saying. I'm not a big Jericho Sims fan starting, but at the same time, if you're going to say when Mitch gets back, we got time to mess with the lineup, but right now we don't have time to mess with the lineup. I think why wait till later to see Cat at the 4? If when Mitch gets back, that's where he's going to be at. Let's see him at the 4 right now. We need because he needs help defensive rebounding. OG's not out there doing that with him right now, man.
All right.
It's hard.
All right, yo, Rambo, appreciate the call. We going to let the chat handle it, man. Rate that call in the chat. First game of the 24-25 campaign. 1 being trash, 5 being facts. My guy Rambo put it all on the line. He said he wants Sims in the starting lineup. I'm going to say it's 1 game. You know, I'm good with what we have. I'm going to go with Tibbs on the 20 games evaluation. I want to see everything for 20 games. I'm not worried about tonight. Tonight sucked. It is what it is. We move on to Friday.
I like the optimism that Rambo started off with. Before he went off the rails, I like the attitude
he took it right.
It was a good attitude.
He took it left, sorry, but look, you know, he said Sims, wow.
The thing I'll say about going to, like, Jericho, like, if you want to see Cat succeed, like, the way that he thrived out in Minnesota is because he had a Defensive Player of the Year center right there, like, guarding the rim. Like, Jericho Sims is not a quarter of that, like, at this point in his journey as an NBA player. Like, at least with Mitch was on that path to be a defensive type candidate last season, especially with his rebounding, the way he was guarding the pick and roll, stuff of that nature. I'm more okay with saying you leave Cat at the 5 and figure it out until then, because I think if you put Cat at the 4 and then have Jericho at the 5, I think you're causing even more stress on your defense than actually helping the situation.
Listen, Tibbs is not putting Josh Hart on the bench for no damn.
No, hell no, man.
No disrespect to the Sims Hive and all of that. Josh Hart is not coming out the damn game. All right, not from Tibbs' standards. But I get what Rambo's saying. I get the issues with the team, but it's early. It's very early, man. We got to lock in, stay patient. It's a marathon. This is game 1 of a long, long, long season. It's 7 months.
I will say
between now and April.
There is 1 point, though, to Josh Hart. 100%. I don't even know why that's even a conversation. But to the Josh Hart point, specifically against the Celtics, unless Josh Hart turns into Josh Hart versus the Sixers, you saw tonight possessions where the Celtics didn't respect it. And then you saw on the other end why it was so difficult to defend the Celtics. Every single player on the floor could shoot a 3.
Shoot.
From Al Horford to Tatum to Holiday to Brown to Hauser to Pritchard to anyone. They all could shoot the 3. And sometimes the way to defend a lineup like the Knicks, where, going into the season with Brunson, Mikal, if he finds a shot, OG, and Towns, that's 4 guys that can shoot a 3. But if you can find that 5th that can't, that's how you collapse the supposed great spacing that we're supposed to have. So that's just something to look at from a matchup standpoint against the Celtics long term. When we come back around and play the Celtics or in the playoffs, Josh Hart is going to be an important dynamic because he gets a lot of minutes on the Tibbs, but I don't know if in that matchup it's going to be warranted.
You know what's so funny with him is that, like, I felt like in the playoffs he was less pensive or apprehensive to shoot.
For sure.
But tonight you saw that where it was like, even, Bridges was the same thing, and Hart was the same thing. But in the playoffs last year, Hart was ready to go at a moment's notice. As soon as he got the ball, he was stepping in. That's what you want. Step right into it, knock it down with confidence. Tonight he was kind of in between again. It seems like regular season.
It might be a playoff thing because that was a season thing too. And in the playoffs, it was like a different Josh Hart.
Different guy.
Sometimes
different
you get
guy,
players that are like that.
Yeah.
If anything, this team has consistently shown they're a slow starting team. Like, just right out the gate, it's a team that needs time to...
Timberwolves are losing.
Julius Randle only has 5 points.
Wait. Did we miss the James family?
Saying, if we're overreacting,
me and JD were trying not to say anything about it. We were trying to hold it in because we don't want to jinx it.
There goes my guy Josh Hart. Second half, he started to come alive, though. He started to come alive in the second half. Let's go, roommates. Okay, roommate 1-2 connection. There we go. Shout out to Bleacher Report for the highlights and the stats tonight. Shout out to Gamma and the production team. Knicks did lose tonight, though.
It's hard to have the confidence to shoot when you're down as much as we're down, because you don't want to be the guy that gets blamed for continuously missing the shots and getting us into a deeper hole, right? They kept chucking, because that's what we would say if he shot and missed, right? So it's a tough position to be in.
Definitely tough, man. Let's see what the phones are looking like. We should have the phones back up and running. 646, what's your name? Where you calling in from?
Yo, what up, CP? It's Ty Clemmons, baby.
Ty Clemmons, man. No matter if you're at work or you're at home, you tapping in with the #1 show for the fans by the fans. How you feeling, man?
I'm good, but I'm going to get beat up and get tomatoes for this one.
Uh-oh, here we go. Get ready for it. Here we go, chat. Get ready.
I'm not a Debbie Downer, but I'm telling you right now, the Celtics laid the blueprint on the Knicks. No rebound, no defense, no nothing. There's nothing in getting beat. But that was not New York basketball.
I don't know. I wouldn't say this is an indictment on the defense, man. I saw the tough Celtics hitting a lot of tough threes, but the Knicks didn't take care of the ball either. I mean, look at the stat right here. Ty, 12 turnovers led to 19 Celtics points.
Most of those threes was wide open. I mean, Tatum was Tatum and he was on fire, but most of those threes was wide open. And the thing is, we got Cat, the basic guard Porzingis. Why was he down in the hole grabbing rebounds? That's ridiculous. I mean, the spreading the floor and not basically guard man for man. If you get beat man for man, I get that. But no rebounds, no defense, no adjustments. I'm sorry, man. They just laid the blueprint. And watch, the other teams are going to start shooting threes and grabbing boards.
No, Ty. There is no team in the NBA that can shoot the three like the Celtics. They got outscored by 60 points from three tonight, man.
You don't just start shooting threes.
I agree with you.
Well, name the team that can do that like the Celtics did tonight.
Those numbers are not sustainable.
They got outscored by 60 points from three, Ty. Where's the team in the NBA that can do that like the Celtics can do that on a good night?
Well, obviously Golden State was one of the other teams.
No, man. No.
That's why
This ain't
Josh Hart is
Splash Brothers in them.
That's why Josh Hart knows he can laugh about it.
Ty.
They're not like that.
No, Ty. You're my guy, but no, we ain't going for that.
I'm hoping I'm wrong, TP. I hope I'm wrong, and they didn't set the blueprint.
No.
And this was just one game, but I didn't like no adjustments. I didn't like what I saw, and I'm praying that I'm wrong. And if I got tomatoes tonight, I deserve it because, you know, I'm a full fan and I love the Knicks, but I got to see better.
Ty, I don't know how you adjust to, I mean, the Knicks shot 50%, 55 from the field, 37 from three. Like, I mean, those are decent numbers. The Celtics are just out of the planet.
So, like JD said, you could have made that adjustment and put OG on Tatum and put McCall on Brown. No adjustments, no nothing. It's just like, it hurt my heart to see them lose that way. It's nothing wrong in their loss, especially the first game, but their hearts was taken out of their chest, and I'm hoping I'm wrong, GP. I swear I hope I'm wrong.
I hear you, man. I just feel like the way that these guys were shooting the three tonight, no adjustment was going to help, man. They were literally hitting everything. Wide open, contested, it did not matter. The Celtics were knocking them down. And the worst part was in the first half, the Knicks could not control the ball, man. Too many sloppy turnovers and not getting after it on the boards, getting the Celtics the opportunities to hoist up more threes. More threes.
I actually think the only adjustment we could have made wouldn't have been defensive. It would have been for us to shoot more threes as well because we shot half as many threes as them. So our percentage was lower, not a whole lot lower, but and knock them down. So if we shoot more, we don't know if we're going to knock them down, right? To my point before about them being pensive about shooting, they don't want to be the reason that now we're chucking and missing. But that's the only adjustment I see because they were making threes that were contested. So we shot 30, they shot 60. Maybe if we put up another 20, we close that gap a little, but maybe not.
But the thing is, the Celtics.
I have one other question. What about this adjustment? What about you sit Sims down and you put the rookie in, and you even maybe start him? He seemed like he got some dog in him, and he'll go after those boards, and he plays
Who,
hard.
Hawk Porter, you talking about?
Yeah, Hawk Porter.
Yeah, listen, man. Look, I'm going to go with Tibbs and how he played him. Like we said, I figured that Sims would get the shot at it from the experience standpoint, and we saw that tonight. Hawk got in garbage time, and I think that's how you're going to see it through the first 20 at least. Sims is going to get the opportunity to lose his job, and then we'll see what Hawk does.
And listen,
there.
people
But I
can go
wouldn't
back and
rely on
forth about whether it should be Hawk, whether it should be Sims. At the end of the day, we have to realize that neither of those guys is going to come anywhere
They lost
close
by
to filling the
60 from
shoes.
three.
Forget about filling the shoes of Mitchell Robinson. Nowhere close to filling the shoes of Precious Achiuwa. So we can go back and forth about which one it is. Neither of them is going to come close to filling those shoes, unfortunately. And that's the real story.
And in terms of like the.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, but we got to figure out something.
Yeah.
This was. I mean,
I feel you.
That was not New York gritty to me. I want to see. There's nothing wrong with the loss, but I want to see grit.
Yeah,
see,
I hear you.
See what I mentioned? See that?
Identity, man.
Identity.
Identity.
Fans are going to expect.
That's what it's all about, man. We got to show our New York identity. There's nothing wrong with the loss.
True indeed.
But we got to play harder than that. Harder and smarter.
Yeah.
Love
Appreciate
you
you,
guys.
Ty.
Love the show. Take care.
Fans are going to expect grit, toughness, and this specific Knicks team is still going to find that identity if they can replicate what they were last year. The other thing with the adjustment, the defensive adjustment with OG and Mikal, because I see a lot on Knicks Twitter, there's a lot of people that are upset that Tibbs didn't switch and put OG on Tatum. The thing about game one is sometimes a head coach, listen, I'm not trying to minimize a regular season game, but I don't know that a coach always wants to show all his cards in game one of 82. Yep. That's one aspect. The second aspect is you're making a switch from an elite defender to another elite defender. And do you want to shake the confidence of Mikal Bridges after the first quarter and say, you know what, you can't guard Tatum. Why don't you guard this other guy? Let me put OG on there.
Yeah, not after one game, bro.
When you're professional sports and you're dealing with millions of dollars, you're dealing with these type of players, game one, you already are going to, for us to ask for 30 adjustments in game one, it's a little tricky sometimes when we're talking about building chemistry with a new team, and also we're talking about confidence, in terms of a player having the confidence in the coach, where if Tibbs would have gone all out tonight after 3 minutes, all right, let me bench you. Let me bring this guy in 4 minutes in. Oh, you can't guard him? If you do all that in game one, you think you're doing good, but inside that locker room, those players are thinking, "Whoa, this coach doesn't have confidence."
Tibbs ain't doing that.
Sometimes you got to just let it roll.
You got to let it roll,
see
man.
how it goes out, and then next time you can make the adjustment from the get-go in terms of a game plan.
That's a great point by JD, because now if you put OG on him and it's not successful, you've used all your bullets.
You
and you have
use it
nothing
all
left.
up. Yeah. It's true.
I just think they got to play better defense at the end of the day. It just comes down to guarding the perimeter better. It comes down to guarding the paint better. It's all of that. I don't think necessarily there was anything else outside of playing better defense they could have done. Like shooting up threes could have been an option tonight, but I don't see that as an option just because the way the Celtics were guarding the Knicks, there was no space on the perimeter for them. That's the one thing the Celtics have that makes this starting five, and it just sucks to give them this much praise, but they have a lot of depth when it comes to in that starting five to just guard the perimeter and the switchability. Between 1 through 4, they can do that. And they harassed them.
Yeah.
Brunson didn't really shoot that many threes. Cat, I know they were trying to get Cat in the paint, but the shots that they were taking from 3 were kind of more desperate than they were, truly wide open at times for the Knicks. So it's they could have put up more threes. They could have tried to run a better offense, but then you can even say back to JD's point, how much more do you want to tweak in this game one to really just put all your cards out there offensively too? So it's if anything, like I said earlier, you get punched in the mouth, you know what you need to work on, and you come back and retool. I don't think we're going to see the true matchup between these teams until February.
Later, and that's when they play. They don't play until later on in the season.
So that's when I think we're going to get the best from both teams. When both teams, like I said, fully healthy, that's when I think these two teams are really going to show what they can be.
Phil Jackson was notorious for doing that. When his teams were not playing well on a certain night or a certain starting five was getting smoked, he would leave you out there and he would let you get embarrassed. That was an underlying way of him motivating a player, where he would let you get out there and you're getting cooked. And it's you figure it out. I'm not calling a timeout. I'm not calling a substitution. I'm going to let you figure it out as a player. listen, Mikal had a tough night defensively. This is a way for him to look at film and get better for the next time around so that he can play better defense. Sometimes, you know, pulling the leash on a player, you think you're doing well, and actually it's not, you know, productive.
The number one show for the fans by the fans is on and rocking, man. KFTV postgame live. Salute to everybody in the chat once again. Wherever you are at, hit the like button, hit the fire emoji, share this video. This is a simulcast, KFTV and Bleacher Report. Shout out to our Bleacher Report production team for putting us in here, man, live and direct. We got some great footage from the game tonight, from pregame shoot-around to the game highlights and all of that, man. Number one show for the fans by the fans. We are on and popping. CP the Fan Charge, JD Sports Talk, Al Stars, the Knicks chick, Maria Carroll in the building. Call us up, 657-383-1509, or you can hit us up on the KFTV Discord. We are here from the KFTV Watch Party. Number one watch party for the fans by the fans. We had a great turnout here tonight. Wasn't the outcome that we were looking for, but
At least it's always a good time here.
yeah, it's always a good time here. It's always a great time here. And shout out to the Slate staff for hosting us as well, man. All right, let's get to the phones, hear what the people got to say, and then wrap up for the night. 516, what's your name? Where you calling in from, man? 516.
516.
Yes.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
Thank you for taking my call.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, like you said before, this is the first game of the year. We need to be a little more patient, please, with the team. Like, my main point here is about Deuce McBride. We need to give him some flowers. I think it should be one of the starters.
Yeah, who you starting for, Hart?
We could have lost by 50 points. It's
Okay.
for Deuce McBride.
Yo,
That's number one.
Deuce is in his bag.
And also, the positive side also is for the fact that Mikal Bridges came alive in the second half. Thank God for that.
Okay.
My last but not the least is Tom Thibodeau. We play the Celtics four times a year. We've been playing the Celtics for so many years. Tom knows that. He was not prepared for the game tonight. We did not even use zone defense to counter the three-point shooting. We didn't use zone. We need to put pressure on the ball.
Fam.
Everything in terms of game.
Tom Thibodeau don't play zone, man.
Well, it's not. Well, that's why he's the worst perimeter coaches in the league. He can't defend the three. We know that. And he's going to run into a lot of problems with other teams with the threes. I'm sorry to say.
Okay.
I thank you guys very much for listening to me.
Thank you, man. Thank you for tapping in.
Thank you.
for
Thank you
tapping
very
in.
What
All right.
what a photo of Tibbs that we got right here for that conversation.
Yes.
Good Lord.
Shout out to Bleacher Report. Look, man, shout out to Deuce. Like I said, I think, part of our preseason overreactions, it's not really an overreaction. We're seeing the slow ascent of Deuce McBride in big spots, man.
Bro.
Big spots. Playoffs. Now in Boston. Okay, Indiana series was not his best. McConnell, he had a tough time. Deuce is here. He's locked in. He's a mainstay. He's very important. And he's going to be vital for this next
Look
game.
at the smile on JD's face talking about Deuce.
Because I'm like, wait, we really were thinking about trading him for Nick Richards? Really?
That would have been crazy.
For Nick Richards.
Insane.
From the Charlotte Hornets. Just because what? Because he's a 7-foot center and he answers the backup five? Okay, so who's the backup guard now? Like, no way. This guy might be the most valuable contract in sports.
Absolutely.
In sports.
Three.
In the NFL.
What's he getting? 3 a year?
He's making $13 million total, my guy.
Are you kidding me?
$13 million.
Come
Right,
on, man.
total.
In a league that everyone seems like making at minimum 40, 50, 60 million.
And
Yeah.
I guess the angle, but the positive angle, if you want to look at it, is you could say, well, when the Knicks starting five figures it out, they get Precious healthy, and if this Deuce is going to play like this, then this Knicks team could be scary.
Yeah.
Because the one thing that he's answering is the spotlight, national television, whoever the opponent is, whatever the moment is, none of it is going to intimidate him or none of it is going to make him shrink from the moment. He continues to rise to the occasion, and he's just getting better and better.
Yeah.
True indeed, man. Couple more before we wrap up. 202. What's your name? Where you calling in from? Rapid Fire. Let's go.
As you.
All right, Rapid Fire. This is Ishan from Harlem, living in D.C. right now.
Harlem, USA. Yes, sir.
What's up, JD? What's up, Knicks Chick? What's up, Alex? You know, we got the Liberty. They just won a championship, right? We got the Yankees in the playoffs. I mean, in the World Series. Excuse me. And what have the Knicks done? Nothing. So I am glad they got smacked in the mouth today because they haven't done anything. This is just a reminder to them that they haven't won anything. They got to play the game. Period. So, hey, they got smacked tonight on national TV. They should be embarrassed, and they should be hungry on Friday. That's all I got to say. Rapid fire. Peace to Luke.
Let's go. Let's get this win against the Pacers. Let's go, man. Rapid fire, man.
Must win.
Must win. Must win. All right, man. On the Discord we go. Ari, let's go.
Yo, what's up? What's up? Salute to you guys.
Hold on. So we did do a poll on the YouTube side. 51% say Friday's game against the Pacers is a must-win. Wow. We gotta get this win. Let's go.
Oh my goodness.
Expectations, baby.
I was one of this 51%. I think it is a must-win. What was I gonna say? Yeah, we have championship. It's championship at bust, man. This is our window. We traded all the picks.
Yo, hold up, man. No, I got something to ask you. We here at Slate in NYC, and you weren't here tonight.
Shout out to Tony. Tony was here.
Tuesday.
Where was you?
Yeah.
Well, it's Tuesday, man. I can't put myself in triggering environments on a Tuesday, man. I'm there Friday, but I got to work tomorrow, and I just know nothing good's going to happen if I go there. But especially after what I just watched, to be honest with you. I mean, everyone's just smiling, have a good time. Yeah, I mean, you know, I'd have a good time if I was there too. But yeah, I think we almost broke a record for being like the worst. Like, we would have given up 150 points if they didn't take their starters out. And apparently, I called in this summer, and I was upset that the Knicks traded 5 first-round picks and a pick swap for a guy who just got filleted by Jason Tatum and looks like he can't even shoot a basketball correctly. Okay, well, listen. I'm not overreacting. I think I'm not going to judge this team for 20 games. Okay, but it is a little bit alarming that a team that just mortgaged their entire future for a role player with a broken shot.
Back. He's back, ladies and gentlemen. He's back.
Ari,
Game 1 of
Randall's
the
gone.
24-25 season.
Randall's
the
gone.
Toxic boy is back.
Bridges is now the new target.
The crew.
Hold on. Ari, I'm sensing something. Is Mikal going to take the role of Julius Randle?
1,000%.
No.
Not yet.
No. Here's the problem. Mikal got dealt a bad hand because Leon Rose got fleeced, and now the expectations are unfairly put on him. But that's just the way the cookie crumbles in New York. It's not his fault, right? We know he's not worth 6 picks. That's what Anthony Davis went for 3 picks and three players. He went for a prime Anthony Davis package.
He's back, ladies and gentlemen.
Listen,
he is back.
I need him to. He was brought in to guard Tatum and Brown, and he failed that. But I'm not going to judge him right now. We'll see what happens in the future. But you guys in the Tomato Gang crucified me when I said that, and now you guys all agree with me like always, bro. So we'll see what happens, man. But I'll be there Friday. Must win Friday.
Let's go.
We have a must win Friday.
Let's go.
Right, so I'll see you there.
Ladies and gentlemen, in the midst of this 132-109 loss, I am happy to announce that Ari from Manhattan is back on his toxicity. The toxic boys are back, baby. He's tight. He's upset. And he's angry about something, as he usually is. Let's go.
How long was that after Randall was traded that he was happy? How long was that?
It only took 1 game. It only took 1 game for us to get him back.
Took 2 weeks.
That's it. That's it, man. Ari is back, baby.
So if it makes Ari and everybody else feel better,
Yeah.
the Timberwolves are down 16 points right now.
Wow.
Talk about it, Marie.
Julius Randle has 5 points.
Julius
What does
down.
Dante
Our
have?
beloved Devo has
does
2
Dante
points.
have?
A cool
Yeah.
2 points for Devo.
What is he shooting from
Yeah,
three?
man. All right,
I feel
last
like you already know the stat.
last call of the night. Last call of the night. We're gonna
Let's
go
go
to the closer, Jay Boogie. Let's get to it, man. Let's close out for the night, man. Let's go.
Salute, salute, salute. 3 capital S's. Bless health, happiness to everybody.
Yes, sir.
Hope everybody's in the greatest form of health. Anybody going through anything, we don't pray that you go through it. We pray that you get through it. I'm loving the setup. It's party time right now. We're going to wipe away what happened tonight, what happened in this game right here. We're going to move forward. We're not going to get stuck on what happened with this game. We're going to move forward, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
It's like, you know, when you're on a school vacation and you wind up going back to school. When you go back to school, you know what I'm saying, you wearing your flyers, getting your fresh sneakers. Guess what? That first day back to school, you're going to get your homework. Go back. It's time to learn and get some homework tonight. Check your energy. Check your effort. But we ain't going to give up and start throwing this and throwing that, you know what I'm saying, for thinking that, you know what I'm saying, it's a playoff series and we down 3-1. The season's about to be ended. It's 0-1 from the beginning. We still got 81 more games. Everybody bow down, slow down, be easy. Let it come together. Right down. And then sooner or later, you know what I'm saying, you're going to all the ones that figure saying, oh, this is nothing to happen. Watch them surely come back. Ari, be easy. Everybody be cool. It's a party. Go ahead and enjoy yourself. CP, I love the setup. I'm watching it while I'm talking on the phone. Shout out to the Nick lady. Shout out to JD. Shout out to Alex. You know what I'm saying? Get your swerve on. Get a drink. Wipe away the game tonight and move forward. Take it out on the Indiana Pacers. We owe them for what happened to us last year.
Absolutely.
Enjoy yourself. Turn up, man. Salute, salute all. Before I cut off, this is a must major. I must say this. Yo, everybody make sure you're showing your love for my man Papa Left. If you didn't heard, you know what I'm saying, I'm not going to pronounce it, but you should know by now he had a major situation going on. Make sure you show some love, you know what I'm saying, for Papa Left. He is family, you know what I'm saying. But everybody have a great evening. Get home safe and watch this game away, and let's get ready for the Indiana Pacers. Salute, salute, salute. 3 capital S's.
Jay Boogie with a closing sermon, much needed, man, to put things in perspective. Shout it out to family, man. Shout it out to day ones. And shout it out to our guy Papa Left. Shout out to our guy Papa Left, man. Definitely KFTV fam and very much important to us, man. So we want to shout out to Papa Left and hail him up in his time of need for sure. And definitely thank you to Jay Boogie, man, the closer. On a night like tonight, 132 to 109, Knicks get washed. But this is what makes KnicksFanTV so special. It's the callers, it's our family, it's our guests, it's our hosts, it's everybody, man. It's a whole ecosystem that makes up the #1 show for the fans by the fans. We definitely appreciate Jay Boogie for closing the show. And shout out to Papa Left once again, man. So shout out to Jay Boogie, all the callers, everybody who tapped in. Hey, bad news is we don't go 82-0. Good news is it's just one game.
We can go 81-1.
We could go 81-1.
That'd be fantastic. I will say this, though.
Yeah.
After this type of loss, and you're facing the team that eliminated you from the playoffs, and you just got beat like this, you should be coming back with some red in your eyes, man. You should want to beat the brakes off the Indiana Pacers this Friday.
For sure.
Especially since it's a home opener. There should be no excuse for why this team should have no energy this Friday.
It's going to be a bloodbath on Friday, man. So, yeah, listen, as we go ahead and wrap and to our Bleacher Report crew, if you want to throw the outro music on, definitely shout out to Bleacher Report and the production team for today, from pregame to the play-by-play to everything. Today was great. We definitely value the partnership with Bleacher Report, man. And listen, this is year number 8 for KFTV, man. And so I definitely want to shout out to you guys, first and foremost, on the panel, because all of you guys here are my family, man. And, yo, this is just one. This is just one in the books. But each pregame and each year, we've continued to level up. Like I told JD before you got here, We did Mustang Harry's. We did 40-40. Now we doing Slate. You know, Friday's going to be Clinton Hall 36. But we keep leveling up. And we level up with the people who are passionate about what we do and the people who treat KFTV like their own, man. So I love you guys, man. I appreciate you guys. Shout out to DJ Eric L. Beats. Shout out to the KFTV enforcer, Ty. Shout out to Bleacher Report and everybody who tapped in. All the mods, production support. Thank you for your help tonight. Great job tonight. Look, it's one loss, but it's one on the campaign. We'll be back, man. Hit the like button, hit the share button, subscribe to the channel. Shout out to everybody who tapped in. Remember that this show is available on audio podcast formats, all platforms. So shout out to the replay gang. If you guys missed tonight's show, you can catch us on all major podcast platforms, all right? So we're going to wrap up for tonight. Hey, it wasn't the result that we were looking for, 132-109. It is what it is, but we'll be back on Friday. Number one show for the fans by the fans. Like, share, subscribe. We out of here, man. Peace.
Last of a breed to do it how we was taught. Gods in the rafters covering you and yours. Gather round the world's most famous battlegrounds. Infamous enough where they havoc will do you proud. If you're not cut from it, it get harder to breathe it. In a concrete jungle with the garden is eating. Yeah, where one poster can hang you with a great speed. Where you can run up on whoever has an 8 seed. Or freeze up South Beach from off the line. Or 4-point plays in Easter overtimes. Let it bang. Serenade round of applauders. Center of attraction like a Hoya. Catch us with a dog in the fight for whoever should play the yard. Christmas went from St. Nick to St. Bernard. Right? We'll stand up for the legacy that the city knew, and then respond by giving the city 62. And stay mellow, knowing who among us. The crossover had 33rd like the Rucker. Hit for the cage, Dykeman and Roy Wilkins and Fort Greene Park, all in the building, right? It's one team in the city, let them know what it is. Empire state of mind, aiming over the bridge. Talk to us. Blowing orange, everything, everything, blowing orange, everything. Blowing orange, everything, everything, blowing orange, everything. Blowing orange, everything, everything, blowing orange, everything. Blowing orange, everything, everything, blowing orange, 19,000, leaning in a huddle, screaming like it's number 19s in the tunnel. All in together as long as we ever need, for the heaviest jersey the league has ever seen, right? Yeah, one time for the city. Yeah, same aura as before. The smoke got blowing